Hey, GLP-1 plus sides community. Before we jump into the podcast, please take the time to leave us a 5-star review on whatever audio platform you're listening to the podcast on. Share your story and how the podcast has helped you. This will help us get referred up in the audio platform so that we can reach more people that need our help, our support, and guidance from our doctors. Help us get loud and change things. Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault. Hey everyone, before we dive in, I really want to share something personal with you. About, I want to say like 8 to 10 months ago, after losing 100 pounds on GLP-1s and keeping it off for a long time, I started regaining out of nowhere, and I was terrified. But I also started having hot flashes and bouts of crying and snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. It turns out I was in perimenopause. So I started hormone replacement therapy, which is also called HRT, through a telehealth called Winona that specializes in this. And it changed everything. And now I'm sleeping better and my hot flashes are all but gone, thank God. And I feel like myself again. And it turns out that you can actually start perimenopause as early as 35. And well, I'm 46 and she's here. HRT has really come a long way and there's just no need to suffer anymore. So if you're like this and you're in the same boat, you can check out buywinona.com and you can use the link in our link tree to save some money.
Want the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ro now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper. With results you can see faster. Lose 15% of your weight with the formula from Eli Lilly that hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and nausea. Weight loss faster. Confidence higher. Price cheaper. See if you qualify at ro.co/TV.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I like
I
it.
love that tip. I
Use
love
the
that
squats.
tip. See,
We love
all
the
this
squats.
information's out there. We just got to get it. We got to Ozempic influence with it because, like, it's just like
Just gotta get the Ozempic influencers on it.
we do. We got to influence on it. I love it.
And
That's
this is for you, Bestie. You better get out there and start lifting some doggone weights
Hey,
before
hush.
your
You know what you're
metabolism
talking
goes
about.
to the toilet.
I have a kettlebell.
I said Bestie.
Bestie. What about like different kinds of supplements on this journey? Like, is there something that we need to do? Is the whole idea of a stool softener, if you know you have constipation every day, a smart idea, or should you wait until you're constipated? Like, is there a best practice with that?
So I think in regards to something like a side effect or constipation, I would first try to modify behaviors, nutrition, hydration, all those things we said first before relying on a supplement.
Yeah.
So I think
exercise does help with like constipation.
exercise,
right?
hydration, all of that is huge. But then, so I think there's supplements for the side effect side that I would try to work on through lifestyle adjustment. But then in terms of supplements to prevent nutritional deficiencies and optimize, I do think that it's hard to get everything you need while on a GLP-1, just like it's hard to get everything you need after weight loss surgery. So I think a multivitamin, a vitamin D, for some people a B12. And then if we're really focused on muscle, I think there's more and more data, even for women, on creatine supplementation.
Creatine. Can you tell us
Now,
more
does
about that?
creatine help with the muscle recovery?
Creatine could help with muscle recovery, but you have to actually be doing something for your muscles. So I think
Okay.
just taking creatine, I'm sure that it's better than nothing,
Right.
but I think that doing the weightlifting, doing the resistance training, and taking the creatine,
Mhm.
I'm a little bit unsure on the dosing, because right now the recommended dosing is like the same as men, which surprises me considering the difference in muscle mass. And I
Right.
have seen kidney function and liver function go a little awry in women taking that fixed dose. So I think we need more information on that.
Okay, good to know. All right, everybody, don't just be busting out. Talk to your doctor. Maybe you do something less, okay? Don't do that. Let's talk a little bit about weight loss plateaus and weight loss stalls. Are there things you can do about them? What's actually going on within your body? And like, I think just understanding what they are and what's going on would be important, because I think we get very greedy in the beginning because we see our weights going down, like literally, constantly. Like they're just like our weights are just constantly going down, and and then all of a sudden we can't do anything about it, so it's like, is there anything we can do? Because people panic.
Yeah. So
what is a stall? What is a plateau, and what's happening?
Yeah. So to start, I warn people at the beginning not to get tied up in this psychology that the only time they're successful is if the scale's going down, because eventually you can't disappear.
Mhm.
The scale is going to stop going down at some point. So I explain that their brain is going to need to adjust to accept these lower weights, because the brain has a set point. It doesn't really want you to lose weight, and we're using the medicine to help overcome this. And along the way, there's going to be plateaus. The body and the brain are going to adjust. And if you stick to the plan, you'll break through the plateau.
Yeah.
There's this tendency for people to think that at the plateau, it's not working. And so I'm just going to stop doing all of it and binge.
Yeah.
Whereas actually it's the opposite. If you're not regaining weight, the medicine's still working. It's just that the less excess weight there is, the harder it is to lose more, and you hit plateaus.
Yeah.
At some point, you will come to a weight that is healthy for you. It might not be a normal BMI. It might even still be a BMI that calls you obese. And that can be disconcerting. But if you're healthier than where you started, it might be a great place to work on maintenance and building muscle and body composition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that they're trying to redefine obesity as it is too, right? Like it's not just on BMI, I think we got
body roundness index.
Yeah.
So one more question. What would you say?
I think I got one more question. Does that sound good?
As long as you feel like you guys get what you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Got plenty. Yeah, we got definitely what we need, right? But in the zepbound trial, participants lost an average of 55 pounds over 3 years. But many with an obesity, we need to lose more. What are the options of combined therapies, and when should people consider them? And what if someone reaches maintenance but still has an obese BMI?
Yeah. So again, clinical trial numbers are for those patients that are on an extreme that we talked about. So patients with diabetes who tend to lose slower, and patients with very high BMIs. If you look at who's actually using these medicines in the general population, they're not always that severe degree of overweight or obesity, and we're seeing them lose even more weight. So just because we have these averages, it doesn't mean that everyone loses that exact same amount. Some people lose more, some people lose less, and we kind of have to track along the way. And then if you lose and you're in a place of maintenance or a plateau, you could do combination medicine. So add medicines that work in different ways, add new medicines to old medicines, old medicines to new medicines. You might want to switch up the exercise routine, take a look at some of the basics again, look at the macronutrients, look at the protein, look at the carbs. But if you're still at a BMI that's high, that's where I would use the Arnold Schwarzenegger example. At his peak bodybuilding weight, he had a BMI that fell into class 1 obesity. It doesn't tell the whole story. And that's where maybe we should do a DEXA scan, look at percentage body fat, and also consider things like body roundness index, and look at family members. What kind of body composition are you genetically predisposed to?
Right. Yeah. And like we have heard a lot of people say too, and then we want to talk more about Found if you got a couple minutes just to tell us about Found before you go. We have had people tell us, like, often if you've had obesity for a really, really long time and you kind of cap out where you cap out, Like you may be able to go a little bit more, a little bit less, you know what I mean, in terms of pounds, but like you said, like ultimately this may be where you are. And I think that's where like the body positivity piece is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there has to be a certain level of, I think, acceptance around it, you know?
Yeah. And just because these meds exist, it doesn't mean that the goal is for everyone to look in one particular way. Like
Agreed.
there are limitations to what our biology can do.
Yes.
Like
that's so important. And people don't know that.
And we're trying to get to the healthiest version of us.
Yes.
Not to be somebody else.
Us. Exactly. Yeah. So you have to give yourself grace, I think, for sure on this journey, because if you like, comparison is a thief of joy. So if you look at people who have been very large bodies and they end up in very small bodies, like it's just may not be realistic for you because that's not what happens to most people, you know? Yeah. But we would love to know a little bit about Found and your approach and philosophy. If you could just tell us a little bit about it, and then where people can find you to whether it's following you on social or where they can learn more about Found. And we would love that.
Sure. So thanks for asking about Found. So Found is one of the oldest digital health companies that's focused on weight management and metabolic health. We have done over 1 million visits and treated about 300,000 people. So more than any other platform out there. And we really combine behavior change with medical management. So we are not a pill mill for GLP-1s. We prescribe the widest toolkit of medicines. And our philosophy is really personalized care, options for care, so the widest toolkit, and sustained weight loss and metabolic health. So we want to help people get healthier. We want to give them options of medicines as well as lifestyle options. And we really want to focus each person's plan on their unique traits.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And then where can people learn about Found and where can people follow you?
Yeah, so people can learn about Found at joinfound.com. They can follow me at Dr. Rekha Kumar on Instagram or on TikTok. And
Yep. Great.
Hey. Hi.
I am so.
We're doing a reverse.
Yeah, we're going to do it reverse.
We're going to do it reverse.
It's fine.
It's okay. You look so skinny, Carrie.
I know. Hey, Cinnamon.
Okay. Well, we'll have to send you this so you can see her interview, what we talked about, like all the things, because I feel like there's a lot of, let me introduce you. Let me go from there. Hey, friends. So Carrie Lee is Central Time and she was supposed to come on. And so, but now she's here. So it's great. So Carrie Lee is from our community. You may have seen her on a live a long time ago. But I wanted her to have an episode because Carrie Lee has a lot to share. She's one of the kindest people. You should definitely follow her on TikTok. Are you on other platforms too, Carrie Lee?
I am on all the platforms under Carrie Lee Parker Mast. So I am on YouTube. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook.
Cool.
I'm even on Clapper.
Oh, I'm on
Clapper.
I'm on Clapper too. It's kind of fun sometimes, you know?
Yes. But my main platform is TikTok. That's where I go live.
Yep.
That's where I am most of the time.
Yeah. Carrie Lee, please tell us all about you and what your journey has been like. And we will go on mute so that you can take the space because Kat and I are interrupters. Okay.
Absolutely. My journey started almost 3 years ago now, about 2.5 years ago. My health started getting extremely bad. My diabetes was under control. My cholesterol was 300. My blood pressure was through the roof. My SED rate and CRP, which are inflammatory markers, were through the roof. I am a type 2 diabetic. I am a cancer survivor, and I am also an autoimmune patient. I have ankylosing spondylitis, and all of my conditions were attacking me at once. I could not get my diabetes under control. My weight was through the roof. I was trying my best with diet and exercise. But when you also have ankylosing spondylitis, it's hard to exercise. I was stuck in bed a lot of the times. I could not move. I would wake up frozen, and my husband would have to move my my hips. I was not able to move my legs to be able to get up and walk. I was walking with a walker. My husband would help me out of bed. He would help me get dressed. Embarrassingly enough, I couldn't make it to the bathroom a lot of the times on my own. I couldn't make it up and down the stairs. I just had no movement, and I was going downhill very, very fast. I had talked to a funeral home because I thought that I was that close to the end, and I didn't want my husband or my children to have to deal with making those plans. And we had tried every medication. We had tried diet and exercise. Nothing was working. My A1C just kept climbing. My weight kept climbing. Nothing was working. And then along came Mounjaro. I went into Mounjaro with a very bad attitude. I thought it was going to be another failed treatment plan. I didn't know anything about Mounjaro. My doctor told me, take this medication once a week. I had already tried Ozempic, Trulicity, Jardiance, Metformin, Saxenda, you name it. I had tried them all. I had been on Byetta, you name it. I had tried them all. And this was just going to be another failed treatment for me. I started the Mounjaro and didn't lose any weight, didn't change anything, did not find the community on TikTok, nothing like that, and went through the 2.5. They were titrating me up very quickly because she wanted my A1C to come down. So went through the 2.5 in 4 weeks, went through the 5 in 4 weeks, halfway through the 7.5, I got my results of my A1C, and it was starting to come down. I also had a miracle happen. My food noise shut off. I didn't know I had food noise. I had no idea what food noise was. My brain went quiet, and I had no idea what was going on. When that food noise shut off, it was just mind-boggling to me. I didn't know what was happening. I also started to lose weight. And my first thought was my cancer had returned. I thought that I was sick again. And I went to my doctor and I told her that I was losing weight. And I told her that my mind felt funny. And she actually hugged me. And she said that it was the Mounjaro. She said she didn't want to tell me about Mounjaro because she didn't want to jinx it in case it didn't work for me. And she sat down with me and she had a conversation. I was in her office for probably 45 minutes to an hour. And she told me all about Mounjaro. And she told me about keeping my protein up, eating smaller meals, the delayed stomach emptying. She told me everything. She explained Mounjaro to me to a T. And she said, hopefully it's going to get the weight off. She said, that's not our main focus. Our main focus is your health and the A1C. But she said, hopefully it'll take some of the weight off. And she hugged me. And I got home and I ugly cried. Not just a normal cry. It was an ugly, ugly cry because I thought I had hope. And things started to turn around. My inflammation went down. I started to get my movement back. I was able to go up and down the stairs. I was using the walker less and less. I was asking for my husband's help to get out of bed less and less. My doctor had told me that she wanted me to start moving as much as I could. She said, not a gym rat or anything like that, but she said, just start some movement. Let's find some movement that works for you. And I ordered hand weights, wrist weights off of Amazon. And in bed, I was doing wrist movements. And that's what I started with, was just arm movements for 20 minutes a day. And that's what I was doing for my movement. And it was working. I was burning calories. The weight was coming off. I sat down with my children and I told them that I was on Mounjaro and explained to them that things were looking better. And my youngest son said something to me that broke my heart. He said that he had had a conversation with his wife, when I was not doing good, about how he was going to live without me. Because he saw how bad I had gotten. And he was afraid that I was on my way out the door. And that was hard for me to hear. My health had gotten so bad that I had one foot in the grave, and I thought I was hiding it from everybody, and I was hiding it from nobody, actually. Everybody knew. Everybody could see it. And I thought that I was hiding behind a smile, and I wasn't. And as I took Mounjaro and titrated up and things started looking better, it changed my life. I did a lot of my doctor's visits online on telehealth. Even though she's just a couple blocks away, it was just easier when my health had declined to do telehealth. So most of my visits were set up telehealth. And I can remember the first time that I saw my ankle bone. I was maneuvering my leg in bed and I'm like, I have an ankle. I have an ankle. And she cried with me because I was finding bones that I didn't know I had. I had been the big girl my whole life. I'm smaller now. I am a smaller weight now than I was in junior high. I can remember in junior high, in the gymnasium, being lined up, getting checked for scoliosis and getting your vision checked. And, I'm sitting there giggling with my friends and we're in line and we're, doing the girly thing. And all of my friends were getting weighed and they were 80, 85, 89, 90 pounds. And I stepped on the scale and I was 180. And when the nurse said that number, I swear it was like she screamed it in the gym and everybody turned and looked at me. And I'm sure they didn't. But that's how I felt, is that every boy heard it, that all of my friends heard it. And I will never forget that moment. It hurt so bad. I didn't know why I was double the size of all of my friends. I was a cheerleader. I was in volleyball. I was in track. I ate the same things that all of my friends ate. I didn't eat any different than they did. Why was I double the size of them? And it just broke my heart. And I never was able to get that weight off. And then in my adult life, I was a diabetic. And the weight just never came off. You know, I could lose 20 pounds here and gain 30 back. I could lose 30 and then gain 40 back. It never came off and stayed off. And I never understood why until Mounjaro and until I found TikTok and until I found the doctor that I have now. I say that she's a helicopter doctor, but I love her to death. When I was having problems finding Mounjaro and zepbound, and I had to go to compound for a little bit, I was honest with her. I said, I can't find it anywhere. I've called to Des Moines, to Iowa City. I've called every pharmacy in a 2-hour radius. I have called 100 pharmacies and nobody has it. Nobody can get the 15. And we tried the 12 and my sugars dropped. Or my sugars climbed. I'm sorry, my sugars climbed. So we knew that the 12 was not tolerable for my body. I had to have the 15. And I told her, I'm getting compound. And she said, I don't trust compound. And I said, well, I've done my due diligence. These are the pharmacies that this telehealth uses. They're 503B, they're 503A. This is what they're doing. These are the tests that they do. They get third-party testing. The FDA looks at their API, you know. And I went through everything with her, and she said, okay, I trust you. When you get your first dose, you will take it here in the office, and you will sit for half an hour. And I did. And she put it in my chart, and, you know, that I didn't have a reaction and that I had taken a compounded medication that I had gotten from, she documented which pharmacy that I had gotten it from and the address and everything. And she, like I said, she's a helicopter doctor, but I love her. She has helped me along this journey. She's open to things that I hear on TikTok. She'll look into them. She doesn't say, you learned it on TikTok. I'm not going to look into that. She's very open to learning, and I love her for it. But along my journey, my cholesterol has gone from 300 medicated to 132, and I'm off of cholesterol medications.
Man, that's huge, girl. Like, I think it's so cool. Like, I've seen you, I've followed you for a really long time.
Yeah, we've watched you transform.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember like it was really difficult for you, like when you were on the journey to really get out of your bed. So a lot of your lives were from your bed because you're back and stuff, right? But you were always there to help people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Always cheerful.
Always glamorous.
Always glamorous.
I tried.
Yes. But that's what's so cool. I mean, I think that I'm curious too, like when this was happening, when did you decide I got to become a creator? Like when were you like, I felt called to do that?
My OGs were that nurse April, Chris Zen. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
And Sam, the redhead Sam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
where is she? Yes.
when Chris and Sam, they broke off to do their podcast and then they just stopped. And that nurse April started to step back and do other things more. And I was like, oh, we need somebody to step in. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I was sharing the information that they had shared with me.
Great.
And that's
the ripple effect, right? Like that's what we
really
want.
is.
Why all these new creators are just as important as the ones from the beginning.
Agreed.
All that I could do is share the information that was shared with me.
Yeah.
And if people had questions, if I didn't know the answer, I would try to find the answer for them.
Yeah. I love that. I think you mentioned this moment where you didn't have food noise and it turned off and you didn't know that you had it. What was that like for you? Quick pause here. I've had moments on my GLP-1 journey where insurance changes or rising costs forced me to look for a new provider. And honestly, that process can feel very overwhelming. But that's why the Plus Sides podcast has partnered with GLP Winner to give our subscribers a resource to help them make that decision easier. GLP Winner is a comparison platform that lets you explore telehealth providers in all 50 states, whether you're looking for brand name medications or compounded options. You can see pricing up front, read reviews, and get a clear picture of which provider might align best with your needs. Check it out today at glpwinner.com/plus-sides. That's glpwinner.com/plus-sides. Don't forget the Z. Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m., and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through the same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need.
"20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
I had no idea what food noise was.
Yeah.
I've had people, patients tell me that they have food noise, and it's like, it's okay, it'll go away. But I had no idea what it was. And
I get it.
When mine shut off, I was like, I had food noise.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that I had food noise. I thought it was normal to walk into a room and wonder if there's enough food for everybody, to wonder what my next meal is, what's for dessert while I'm eating whatever I'm eating.
Yeah.
I thought that was normal.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. My mom, I told you, I mentioned that my mom's on Ozempic and it's helped her so much, but I would not say that she struggled with obesity her whole life. She really didn't. It really wasn't until much later in life. She's well into her 60s now. And that she started having problems with weight to where it became an obese BMI. And we were talking recently on Moments with Mom, which is quick plug for becoming a member. If you want to watch it, you should watch it there. It's a special bonus episode where we were talking about being on this medicine. And she was like, I remember like that. And this is when before she had weight issues, that she would be driving and be like, oh, let me go over there. Let me go over there. Or she'd be in the middle of eating a meal and be thinking about eating the next meal. You know what I mean? And but I remember my whole life her thinking that way. And we would have conversations about it. Like we'd be eating breakfast. She'd be like, what do you want to do for dinner? And we were like, and I thought it was normal. And I remember a few different times, like growing up, we would go, maybe we should just eat what was here and we'll talk about dinner like later. And she's like, but we have to plan. I'm like, well, yeah. Cause I think that, and I think there are people that have food noise that maybe don't become obese till later. Like, I think that it's something that a lot of people don't talk about, you know? Do you feel like you have it off now, even now that you're like, because you're in maintenance, right?
No, I'm not in maintenance yet. I technically still have 23 pounds to go.
Wow. Have you been consistently losing?
Yeah.
See, I don't.
Amazing.
It's just slow and steady. My average is down to 0.6 a week.
Wow. But still.
That's a good steady rate, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge, right? Like, I think that, so something that we were talking about before you got here, was that we think that, that a lot of people, and I'm making content about it now, Kat and I both are, that when you get to maintenance, the maintenance, it could just be the healthiest you could be, to quote Dr. King, right? It's not necessarily your goal weight.
Right.
You know? And that is because you're fighting the biology, you know? And I think that that's really important. And I remember feeling, because I saw so many of the creators that started when I started that were in small bodies now, right? Or at goal weight, and that equaled maintenance, right?
Yeah.
It's goal weight, that was maintenance. But for me, I quit losing a long time ago. Like but I've lost 110 pounds, like, which is twice as much as within the study. And one day I made a Mounjaro update video about it. And it was flooded with comments of people being like, yeah, I lost 50, I lost 70, and that was it. And they were maintaining that weight loss, and that equaled maintenance for them, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. And like, I think that we, like Kat and I, especially, like, we really want to start talking about that more, because
normalize the state where you are. You don't
agree. Yeah.
My doctor and I just had this conversation because I feel like it has slowed down so much that I'm like, is my body just happy here? I'm the healthiest I have been.
You know,
I feel healthy. I feel like I look great.
Yes.
I'm like, am I done?
Yeah.
Because it slowed down so much. I have been on 15 since January of 23.
Wow.
Okay.
And it's still working. It is just really slow.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I think I'm going to have to go to 15 soon, because and that's the thing is, like, we've asked doctors on the show, I'm like, I'm up 10 pounds. And they're like, it's normal. And plus I did also just start perimenopause. They're like, it's normal, you know? And you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at me, I don't think. I do feel a little more bulbous in my stomach. Like, it does feel a little more bulgy. But I swear something happened. I got my gallbladder out, and then I think I just hit perimenopause. I started having the hot flashes and all the things. I have not had one hot flash since I started hormone replacement therapy. Hallelujah.
Great.
Not one. Yes. Not one. And I've been sleeping over the past week. I've actually been sleeping. This is a big deal for me. I do not sleep. Ask Kat.
No, she doesn't.
She gets like random texts.
I wake up in the morning with like texts from like 3 a.m. until 4. I'm like, do you go to sleep?
Which is classic perimenopause, like waking up at 3, you know?
I wake up and I'm like, oh, I think she's sleeping, so I won't text back until,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But that's like a lot of, I feel like in general, like, understanding people have to buy into this as a disease, because when we started creating, it was definitely like shot day videos. I'm down this amount of weight. Like, it was like a very accountability focused, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know, but that's all we knew, diet culture. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now people get to a certain level on the loss, and they're kind of like, what am I doing? Like, why do I have to have weigh-in days? I'm not an elephant. Like, I'm not what do you call those trailers from the weigh stations? Like, you don't have to. Like, I think it's good for you to know how much you weigh, just so you can understand your rate of loss.
You're not a Mack truck. Is that what you're saying?
Truck. That's it. I ain't a Mack truck. That's it.
I just did a video that talks about stall, and the first thing I say on there is put the scale away for 2 weeks. If you are stalled, give me 2 weeks of boot camp. but I want you to put the scale away. Don't look at the scale for 2 weeks and go back to basics, because that scale stresses people out.
Yes.
And it raises their cortisol.
Yeah.
And then,
It
and
way up there
they
right now.
are immediately holding on to belly fat because their cortisol is up.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that and then it's like, okay, well, what do I do to manage that? Because we can't handle stress. And I think exercise and movement, or just things that you enjoy, like there are ways to manage your stress. And I think that people think that the body is static, right? But it ebbs and flows, and not just because of perimenopause, because of stress. Like all of those things are true. Like I was telling John, I was like, I haven't been up this much in the entire journey. And he was like, well, your body's going through some stuff. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna, like, I ordered groceries, and I was like, I'm gonna go back to just like Whole Foods and thinking about that for a while and see if that kind of starts to get me back to where I was, because back to where I was okay with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had come to a level of like acceptance and body positivity, if you will, and was all right with it. And it's not that there's anything wrong with, 10 pounds up. But at the same time, like, I certainly don't want to be going in the opposite direction, So,
Yeah.
but I mean,
it's normal for people to lose and gain 5 to 6 pounds.
Yeah.
Yep. It can be poop. It can be salt.
Yeah,
it can be inflammation. It is normal. A normal person ebbs and flows those 5 pounds.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, like when we come back from Thanksgiving and they're up 5 pounds, I'm like, go take a dump. You're fine.
It's okay. Yes.
You're fine.
I have people in my life stressing 1 pound. I gained a pound last night. It's like, you're fine.
But that's diet culture. It runs very deep. It runs very deep. I think that I wanted people to make sure that they can follow you on your platforms. Carrie Lee has like really positive, like good vibes lives to keep you like focused and keep you not feeling ashamed, and like from like the mental support. And anybody knows on this podcast, I talk about the fact that I feel like the physical almost takes care of itself, because you know how to eat, you know how to move, right? But when your body's changing like it is, and when the food noise is gone, which is kind of a part of a lot of identity, I think a lot of us, right? Because we've had it forever, right? And then it's gone, and it's amazing, and it's freedom. But then it's like, what do you do with that space, right? What do you do with that mental space? Now, for me, I couldn't stop talking about it and started a podcast, right? But everybody is like, does different things, And I think that I really like your lives because I feel like you help people through that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there to support and
you.
celebrate. Shot day songs.
Yes, yeah. I was just telling Kim, TikTok's algorithm doesn't show me Carrie Lee's.
Like
I have to go looking for you because TikTok is a meanie. They don't, you don't pop up on my feed like you used to. So,
but I look for her. Like
I gotta go looking for you.
Yeah, you gotta go looking for her. Yeah, and then it'll.
I know, for some reason I don't pop up in the circles for a lot of people. My
weird.
life stays so small because I'm never up in the circles.
I don't know why. I mean, my lives are really small. I got kind of a big one the other day, but I will tell you, I don't mind that, because when I had the big lives is when I got mean. Like when you remember when we were really blowing up, like it was a year ago, and like people were flooding TikTok. It was about this time, like it was sort of like the end of the year, and I had gone viral. And so all of my lives had like 300 to 500 people in them, even on my backup account. And so guess what? What does that happen when that happens? All the trolls in the land saying the most things that just gutted me right in front of hundreds of people, embarrassed me. And eventually I was like, is that so? Right. And I started tearing them apart. And then I found that energy just kind of stayed with me. And I didn't like it. So I quit doing lives. And I stopped. And so I find now that like I really seek lives because I like to go to lives. Although I have had people tell me, Kim, the answers to these questions. Why are you in here? And I'm like, because I need community too, Yeah. And I love going to your lives, love going to Dominique's lives. I like going to Kelly's lives. Kelly handles trolls really well. Like there are just certain lives that like I go and hang out in, So I just feel like yours are really positive and sweet and
we try.
sharing. And because you can go to lives where guys, I mean, this wears us down, and sometimes I just think that the smaller lives are best. And I'm thankful for my small lives. I am, because I don't ever want it to get like it was before. It was awful.
It's hard to keep up with the comments.
Yes. Well, not even like just the comments, Carolee, but like like the ignorance and the cruelty. The bigger they get, the more trolls,
Yeah.
I remember you said like F this and F all these things that people say. I mean, just all the things you can think that the people who are the most miserable say to the people that have obesity that they think are fat, people would say to me in front of hundreds of people, and I would read it like an idiot, or someone else would like, just read it or whatever. And then they would end up fighting in the comments. And then I'm like, am I helping anyone at all? Because why am I here just to get like abused, So I think that like, it really is important. And I do lives again, now I do them on the podcast, but I've been doing them on TikTok a lot more lately too. But I just like size. I feel like under 100 is key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although there are a lot of people that just like to hang out in my lives and they don't say anything. And I'm like, friends, I can't help you if you don't ask me questions. I'm just going to run my mouth about like, I don't know.
Maybe
like
I just want to listen.
Blind, like the Love is Blind show, or, I don't know, whatever Kat and I were farting around about, you know what I mean? Like,
they might just want to listen.
Yeah, they do. Well, some people just say they like to listen just because I think some people just feel lonely, and they just kind of like to listen. I do that.
A lot of the times I have lives on while I'm driving, so I'm just listening.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can't comment or anything because I've just got it.
Just listen while you're driving.
I'm like, if you're not going to say anything, guys, you're just going to hear random stuff from me, because it's not like I'm going to sit here and be like, let me tell you what weight I lost, because I haven't lost weight in forever. I'm just gaining weight, But I'm not panicked about it. I don't know how to describe it. I'm just sort of like, all right.
I'm going to send you my break a stall, go back to boot camp video.
I will watch it. I can't promise I'll do it, but I'll watch it. Yeah. But I love it. But I think that it's just, if you guys are on social, it's a good follow, friends. Okay. It's a good follow. And Carrie Lee's very kind. And what an important story. The one thing you didn't tell us is your autoimmune. Can you tell us what that is? Like what it stands for and what it is, so we can understand?
Absolutely. Ankylosing spondylitis it's an autoimmune disease that attacks the bones. Okay. And they call it bamboo spine because it originates in the spine and it lips the vertebrae to each other. But the problem with that is it traps the nerves in that bone that is lipping. So you get constant pain because the nerves are now in a bone that is squeezing it. So they try to go in and do surgery and break those lippings apart. Yeah. But when they do that, then there's nerve damage.
Yeah. Oh no.
So
it is the worst.
It's just really hard to control. And usually by the time these patients are between 40 and 50, they're in a wheelchair.
Wow.
And I have fought a wheelchair. I am 52 and I'm not in a wheelchair.
That's huge.
I have fought a wheelchair as long as I stay moving. I'm hoping to fight a wheelchair and not be in one.
Kat and I met when we were getting the award in New York. We met this little pixie, and she was the cutest little thing, and she was British. And we've never heard from her again, but regardless, she's lovely. She like works in PR, and she came over and told us that she had been like crippled, like completely disabled, not able to do anything for some sort of, I think, autoimmune that she had. And she microdoses Ozempic. And now she's walking around New York, PR fabulousness. I was like, could you please stay in touch? Because we would love to have you on the show. She was like, I'll stalk you and I'll let you know. And we were like, okay. But I think that's true. Like, I think we need to see how this can help in other ways,
Yeah, because like I said, 2.5 years ago, I thought that I was on my way to a wheelchair and worse.
Yeah.
And now walk around the building before work. I make
Yeah.
sure the sidewalks are clear. I still feel unsteady sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest goal this year is to walk around my block by myself.
Yeah.
I don't have sidewalks around my block, and we have that it's like loose gravel that's tarred.
Yeah.
So on the sides it's not quite stable, and I can't walk down the middle of the road.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So that's my goal this year. I don't feel quite stable on our road, but I
Yeah.
want to walk around our road, our block without falling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, but I think those are such good goals, right? Like having goals that aren't tied to the scale or even your clothes size, right? That are tied to your blood work, how you feel in your body, and the things that you
Yeah.
can do with your body, I think are a really good way to transition away from diet culture, right? And more towards the fact that this is about health. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diet culture drives me bonkers. I hear it every
It
single
runs
day.
so deep, girl. Everybody, I still deal with it, and I'm the queen of anti-diet culture, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
still deal with it. I still do, and I have immediate things where I'm like, I mean, I will tell you, kind of accidentally, because I've been so stressed lately. I've been restricting, yet I've been gaining weight. So what do we know about obesity, right? We know if you restrict too much, your body starts to process it differently and be like, no, you can't have this, right? So
Right?
that's something I have not been overeating. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've been not probably eating enough. So I need to get back into my making like mindful eating and stuff like that, like the purposeful piece of that. The one thing I'll tell you too, girl, that we learned from the doctors is like, there is a certain level of signals that your body sends to your brain, right? When you have obesity to convince you, like to convince you to eat the cake
Yeah.
and to eat more meatball sandwiches or or not
The
eat.
meatball sandwiches is your thing right now. I'm really tickled.
I love they're always my thing. They've
I'm
always
so tickled by it.
I love them. But like or we don't need we've earned this. We can have this. It's doing it to keep us from losing weight. Like,
Yeah.
and it I think a lot of times I hear people in our community say, I'm going to get on back on track and I'm feeling bad about it. And I fell off the wagon, all these different like diet culture things, but ultimately that's all garbage. Like it's at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's, hey, let's refocus on our health. Let's refocus on our nutrition. Let's move our body. And I'm sorry, Dad, fuck the rest of that. Like, like nothing else. And I'm trying not to say the F word so much, but honestly, that's true. Like if we focus on like, let's move the thing, then it's impossible, I think, for us to live a life. And we've even seen that with like creators, right? That people started sharing on TikTok and then as creators, and then they stop. Why? Because at some point it's like, okay, like what else are we going to talk about? Like, because I'm not on a weight loss journey anymore because it's not a weight loss journey. It's
Right.
not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's life. And that's what I keep telling people when I
Life
hear
with a chronic disease. That's what it is.
yes.
Yes.
When I hear, well, can you have a cheat day on this? It's like there is no cheat day. There is no falling off the wagon. There is no I did bad.
Yes.
There is no bad foods. You are living life.
Absolutely. So true. And that's
And
where I feel like we've transitioned a lot of us as a community from an OG perspective, right?
Mhm.
And I think that I think that maybe the new people, they're still learning that. They're getting there though. They're getting there. I hear it because I pop by their lives and I hear them say, give yourself grace. It's going to take time. Like all these different things. It's not about that. Quit looking at the scale. Like I hear the rhetoric starting to change, but when you first get here, that's not how you think,
yeah.
I've seen very few people lead with that. The one person I feel like did lead with that is Callie, who's been on our show. And she's just a fantastic creator. And she came in right away, like knowing all the stuff that like I feel like we all kind of learned scrappy style, and that was like a big deal. Like I feel like seeing her do that, she makes real good content and she focuses on like the dietitian and the macros and less about the scale. But man, people are coming at her. So like she had somebody come to her. This is just like typical our community, came to her and they were like, hey, I'm disappointed in your weight loss. You haven't lost enough. It hasn't even been a year. She's lost 70 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And she came, she very with grace and strength stood up to them and was like, what a weird thing to say. Like, what
Right.
a weird thing to say, you know? And I think that that's another thing too, is like when people get weight loss surgery, they lose weight so fast that people want to kind of see the spectacle, right? Of the huge person becoming a skinny person very fast. Like for whatever reason, our brains are like attracted to that. Not mine, but there are people that are like, it's very common, you know? And then we think that if that doesn't occur and we're that person, we've done something wrong and we put that on ourselves. And I just think we have to stop that. I think we have to.
I tell people if you're doing healthy, sustainable weight loss,
Yeah.
that 2 pounds a month can come out to 26 pounds a year.
Right?
Right.
26
crap ton of weight.
Is fun.
Absolutely.
That's healthy, sustainable weight loss. 26 pounds a year.
Yeah. I love
is
it.
perfect.
Yeah. Do you see why we love Carrie Lee, friends? Go follow her.
Yes.
Okay.
Lives. I have to go look for her.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, girl. It's been
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Like we haven't met like this, you know, but like I want to make sure that like
we'll have you back, Carrie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I want to make sure like you've been able to say everything that you want to say, because I know we're friends and we start talking, but like, you know.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Well, it's been a lovely conversation, ladies. I feel like we learned a lot today. We've got some really good direction from our doctor guest and around side effects and supplements and all these different things. So I'm hoping to have lots of those clips up for everybody to learn from soon, so that because there are people who are like, I think misguiding some others. And so if we can get some content out there, it's a challenge. What do they say? The best, like, what is the Supreme Court, they were like, the best like way to counteract like speech that we don't like is more speech, like opposing speech. Right. So I think if we just continue to put out good stuff, like that's all we can do is kind of chip away at it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Lovely episode, ladies. Thank you so much.
Be inspired by Carrie.
Yes. Thank you so much. And I'm going to put Carrie's links. I'm going to put Dr. Kumar's, all the links in the show notes for you. Please consider becoming a paid member. This, guys, I know you think we're killing it, but we not. We could use some help. So do bonus content, lots of cool stuff. Kat and I are going to have a Patreon soon where she's going to have recipes and exercise tips, and I'm going to run my mouth about, all the stuff I usually do, but in a different way. So consider that. Kat and I have also launched our consulting business, which if you think about it, kind of like a coach, but we're not really coaches. Like we're more like your friends, your partners, like helping you out and just sharing what we've learned from the doctors and giving you resources, helping you come up with questions for the doctor, whether it's to get covered on your medication or whatever it is. And so we've started doing that, whether it's questions about like how to handle insurance, like we covered some of that today with Dr. Kumar. Yep. So that is what our consulting business does. You book 30 minutes with us is $50. Like, so any of those things that you do, if you want some more one-on-one help, like Kat and I are going to provide that. We've had a lot of people ask for it. So we have launched both of those things. So please consider that. We would love it. And you can also become, if you want to be a member and get the bonus content on the audio version, because obviously we're big there. You can sign up with Buzzsprout. You can sign up with Apple. And then we're trying to work on getting signed up where you can sign up with Spotify, because those are our big ones. Okay. So we love you. Hasta la pasta. Great episode, friends. Let's keep the movement going. You're not alone. It's not your fault. And we love you.
Ever.
That's what Kat said. Ever. Okay.
Ever.
Thank you, Carrie Lee.
Thank you,
Carrie.
Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because Obviously, many of our listeners are going through the same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need. Today's episode is brought to you by Ro, a telehealth platform that's changing the game of GLP-1 access. What sets Ro apart? Ro understands the challenges of navigating insurance hurdles and the skyrocketing prices of GLP-1 medications. That's why they specialize in getting insurance approvals for GLP-1s. And if insurance is a barrier, they go a step further by prescribing brand name zepbound vials for prices close to those of compound GLP-1s. With Ro, you're not just getting a prescription, you're getting a partner in your journey that's helping you access affordable treatment and guiding you every step of the way. Whether it's insurance approvals or cost-effective alternatives, Ro is here to make sure that you get the medication you need. Visit ro.co/plussides with a Z today to see how they can help you take control of your weight management journey with affordable, accessible care. That's ro.co/plussides with a Z, making healthcare work for you. Check out the link in our show notes for more details. Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.